everybody. Today I'm going to go over myrrh essential oil and all of its wonderful benefits. It's in this bottle because whenever I purchase my bottles from the store, I don't really like the little dropper thing that's like in the cap. So I purchase these bottles separately because it gives me a dropper, and I just prefer it this way. So what I do with my other bottles that they come in, I just soak them in some hot water or warm water with some vinegar and baking soda to help reduce the smell, and then I run it through the dishwasher. And then whenever I want to use my myrrh to, I need to dilute it, I use the other bottles. I put my olive oil in there, put my drops in there, and it's ready to go. But today I just wanted to go over some of the wonderful benefits of myrrh essential oil. And we know that it's good because it was given to Jesus Christ when he was born. So we can be sure that this is good, as well as frankincense, So some of the benefits for myrrh include it helps prevent or it helps fight infections and prevent, like colds and, coughs and things like that. But it helps with things like food poisoning, mumps, measles, chickenpox, and so on and so forth. It's also an expectorant, which is why it helps with the coughs and the colds and things like that. It's also a fungicide, and for fungicides, they say that you can take this internally, like if you have a fungal infection. And I just want to personally recommend that if you're going to use this internally, that you make sure that you don't, get a cheap brand. And trust me, you're talking to the queen of cheap, okay? I am a thrift store junkie, but not when it comes to the essential oils, because I want to, if I'm going to be putting this on my body, which is going to seep in my pores and get into my bloodstream, I want to make sure that I'm getting a therapeutic grade and I'm not getting, some cheap knockoff. I'm not saying that there aren't some cheap brands that aren't good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that if you're going to ingest this, make sure that you get a good brand such as doTERRA. And I'll leave a link for you under this video for that. And if you're going to take it internally, I also suggest that you not take it more than once a day, because I've heard horror stories about this woman. She was drinking lemon oil in her water 3 times daily, and it ended up messing up her stomach. And so you really don't want to do that. That's way too much. And I don't want people to hinder you from how wonderful these essential oils are, because they don't know how to properly use them. I've never had any problems with any essential oils that I've ever received, that I've ever gotten, because I've always used them properly. And, just because it's a little oil, you think, okay, well, that's not, that little 2 drops isn't going to do anything, but I can assure you that it will. Like I said, don't let people's, horror stories, make you too afraid to use these, because they are really wonderful and fantastic. Just make sure that you use them appropriately. Okay, so let's continue going over some of the wonderful things that myrrh is good for. It's good for blood circulation, and it's good for digestion, nervous activity and things like that. The great thing is it stimulates pumping, action of blood to your heart. And so that ends up keeping you alert and active, which is stimulating your brain and your nervous system. So that's always good. It also relieves you of, gas in your stomach. Now, ladies, I know that you don't want to be walking through Walmart passing gas, okay? Me and my mom, we used to have a joke after we would go to this Japanese restaurant. Tore our stomach up every time, let me tell you. And we went to town this one night after having this Chinese food, and ever since then, we called it happy gas. I'm going to tell you, I definitely wanted some myrrh that night, okay? If that was too personal, I apologize. I'm not trying to be gross here. I'm just keeping it real. Everybody gets gas. There's no avoiding that. So the sooner we accept it, the better off we are, right? Okay. So it's really, myrrh is all around good for your stomach health. It's also a vulnerary, which helps protect your wounds from infections, and it makes them actually heal quicker. And, it's an antiseptic. So it also, like I just said, helps them from becoming infected. So It's also, let's move on, it's also an immune booster, which is really good, especially for children. You want to always keep their immune system as boosted as possible, which is why we give our kids vitamins and things like that, because their immune system isn't as strong as an adult's. You know, it's they're still growing, they're still trying to absorb nutrients and things like that. So I really, really love to use myrrh and frankincense on my children, and even for myself. And my favorite way to use this is I like to make a homemade lotion, because that way, you know, get them out of the bath, put it all over them. I know that it's absorbing and it's going to do the job right, and I don't have to worry about any side effects from this at all. And I'm not gonna leave a recipe to that, because here in a couple of days I'm going to show you how I do my homemade lotion. So you know, you can keep checking back for that if you're interested. Okay, this is also okay, honey. I apologize. That was my daughter. This is also really good for. Well, we've already covered it. It's a blood circulatory. It helps circulate your blood through your body. But by doing that, it also ensures that you get the proper supply of oxygen to your tissues. And I don't know if any of you know a lot about cancer, but that's something that is involved with cancer, is your body is not getting enough oxygen. Your tissues are not getting enough oxygen. I'm not saying that this is a cancer preventative, by no means. I'm just saying that, you know, it could possibly help by helping circulate the oxygen throughout your body. It's also a tonic. So what it does is it tones up all of the systems and organs in your body. You know, it basically kind of gives them strength and protects them from premature aging and infections. And it's also an anti-inflammatory. So, like we've already covered, it's good for fevers and viral infections. It's also good for the digestive system, resulting from indigestion, you know, or too much like spicy food or things like that, something that just doesn't agree with you. And it's also an antispasmodic, which gives you relief from, like, you know, contractions or, like, you know, like random spasms, and it can also help ease cramps and aches and muscle pains as well. Now, some other benefits that this has is it's also good for uterine health. It helps, you know, scars and stretch marks and things like that. I haven't personally used it for, you know, scars or stretch marks or anything. I usually use frankincense and vitamin E oil for that. But you could certainly give it a shot if you wanted to. I just can't personally testify to that. It's also good for PMS. I don't know any husband out there who would deny that his wife probably needs a mood enhancer for PMS. I know my husband would not deny that, okay? So it also helps with that, you know, because it helps with your mood swings and your hormonal, you know, imbalance. You know, we have all these hormones that are like up, they're down, they're here, they're there. Any little thing could help with that, right? Okay, well, I believe that I have about covered everything for this wonderful oil. The last thing I want to go over really quick is, if you do decide to purchase myrrh, let's see if you can see that. It's this brownish, like, tar color, and it's thick. It's pretty thick. Thicker than most. Don't worry, it is supposed to look like that. So you didn't get, like, a bad batch of myrrh essential oil. It is supposed to look like this, okay? I hope that this has helped, and if you have any questions, please make sure that you send me a comment, and I will try to get back to you on that, all right? Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.